Chapter 2. Time, December 18th, 2033, 12 p.m. Place, Overseas Highway, Key Largo, Florida. "What a rush, isn't it, Henry?" Tibbins said, chortling between bites of sliced cheese. "We must have got damn near 50 million worth of diamonds from those vaults," as he looked in a small black velvet pouch that he had pocketed during the heist, full of small, bright, white diamonds. "My glittering pretties, I love 'em so, Captain," the toady said, smiling wide-grinned at his boss. Mr. Bogart, Henry, nodded with little emotion, pensively reading something on his phone. He had better distractions to sit and consider while waiting to get to the place the car drove. Tibbins was riveted easily, though Bogart was sober to how it could go up in smoke. However, he would go for broke if he had to. He certainly wouldn't be locked up again, that was for sure. One could not easily picture the things he would do to ensure that sweet freedom remained in his hands. "Not too far from the marina now, Henry." Tibbins alerted his boss as they drove down the road. The toady raised his finger to point at the console that showed they were nearing it now, just miles to go. The GPS read Key Largo Duck Bay Marina, Key Largo, Florida, 5 miles out. "As soon as we park, it is straight to the boat. It better be waiting." Time, December 18th, 2033, around 12 p.m. Place, Lucky's hotel room, Key Largo, Florida. The rain had begun, a storm, fierce, pouring, thundering, torrential. In the room with a view, Lucky Holiday paced, scribbling mental notes, considering his plan of action, sipping Diet Coke for texture, for taste. From the window, Lucky watched the boats. He watched the tides pace. Those diamond robbers wouldn't get away with it. Not with Lucky on the case. The phone rang. A call from the lobby, from Clark. Lucky found as he picked up. "Guests are being asked to go downstairs. The storm is picking up." Lucky packed his laptop bag, grabbed his coat and put it over his arm, leaving his duffel next to the bed for the time being, shielded from the window by the bed in case the windows break. He grabbed his hat off the desk, placed it upon his head, and exited the room to begin his way downstairs. He took a right in the hallway, coming to the elevators. He pressed the unlit button with the down arrow, illuminating it, then watching the HUD above the doors for the red number to change and alert him of arrival. No one else was in the hall with him, though he heard some doors closing or opening. He wasn't really sure which, though heard chattering either way. The walls were thin the way resort walls unexpectedly are. A window to his right, and through it he saw lightning within the pouring rain, falling from the charcoal clouds, dark gray, the blue sky not so blue behind it. Lightning. The lights went off, then thunder, not the other way around. Several gasps and some voices could be heard, asking if everyone was okay, guests communicating with one another. General gentle mayhem of a power outage. Moments later, the lights resumed, dimmer than before, signs of struggle in their glow. Lucky decided to take the stairs. He left the elevator hall and followed the signs for exit and stairs, compressed the push door, and headed down the concrete stairwell. It was quiet in the stairway. No one else seemed present. A floor down and just his footsteps making sound, the silence was broken by the sound of those bells. They rang out twice, the bells Lucky'd heard in his dreams before, night after night. He was startled, for the sound sounded real, not like the memory of it. He glanced around, looking for a source, listening for if he'd hear it again. He heard nothing. Lucky continued his descent to the ground floor. Downstairs bustled, people moved, some more frantically than others. The majority headed toward the events lounge. Lucky was in the lobby of Caribbean Heights, next to the lobby counter, as a man alerted Clark to have the staff continue auto-calling rooms from the back and asking guests to come down to the events lounge. He let them know that there would be alarms and intercom alerts to be made within the hour. The man who directed Clark had a bushy gray mustache and curly, tightly cut black and gray hair, evenly round around the top of his head. Lucky stood at 6 feet 3 inches and change, quite a bit taller than the man, who appeared closer to 5 feet 6 inches, about up to Lucky's neck in height, but walking with an air of authority and intention, a jovial intention. He came forward to shake Lucky's hand. "Hi, I'm Romero Richmond, owner of Caribbean Heights. It is a pleasure to meet you. We are asking guests to begin moving into the events lounge for at least the next several hours, as there has been a shelter-in-place warning, and we are committed to ensuring everyone remains safe who is staying here at Caribbean Heights," the jovial man said to Lucky. Lucky considered this a time to gather a bit more information before he acted, before he pursued the diamond thieves. He entered the large room. Time, December 18th, 2033, 1:15 p.m. Place, the Events Lounge, Caribbean Heights Resort, Key Largo, Florida. The guests had been gathered in the Events Lounge, a ballroom in the resort, fancy tables and the same carpet as the lobby. A glitzy set of chandeliers, sparkling glass, and soft yellow light. The round tables for 4 to 8 guests, chaired with 6 each at the moment, had white dining cloth atop them, and places set already, silverware, china plates, and cups. The generator was going after the outage, so light remained, though it was a bit dimmer than before. The air conditioning, too, seemed slightly slower, the air a smidge warmer, though it might have just been the large groups of people all huddled in one room, Lucky thought. He went to speak with Romero, who was in a conversation with Clark, the lobby manager, about accommodations for those that might want to leave and safety and dining plans for those who would stay. The sound of wind pressed creaking sounds out of the building, sending them into the lounge. A group of children, girls and boys, giggled little screams of adventure and relief when the heavier cracks of thunder came through. "Hello again. Thanks for bringing us all in here and for all you're doing, my friend. Not to press the matter, but how certain are you that it was this man that came through the neighborhood earlier today?" Lucky asked Romero, showing him the photos he had gotten from his traffic controller friend Tim. "That he used the dock? How sure are you?" "I'm certain, Mr. Holliday. I can show you in the security room as soon as we take care of everything here to get everyone situated, if you would like. Our security cameras record, so we should have high-definition video, though no audio, of them passing through the resort," Romero answered. "It is a fairly moot point, any urgency in this matter, though. Correct me if I'm wrong, for the weather makes any traveling about near impossible at this point until the worst of it is over, I would think." "There must be some way to travel in this weather, my friend, right?" Lucky pressed. "I really can't wait. Every second they get further away." Then a soft bark from a man in a chair nearby. "Well, the triangle isn't for green gumshoes, even on days as bright as the light before the long night. And in this, in thrash and chop and endless dark blue, only a sea scourge could fare. Days like today don't come cheap," said a man on a chair, at a table, a man in sweatpants and a sailor's sweater, athletic stock, but a belly that enjoyed a burger, a long beard, down to the clavicle, full and bushy, brown and gray. His sailor sweater had the sleeves rolled up, and his forearms were as large as many men's calves, Lucky would wager. He seemed a sea dog, a man with the wind in his hair. "Is it safe to say you won't be needing me tonight, Romero?" "What is he talking about?" Lucky asked Romero, there in the lounge, in the middle of the building, in shelter from the storm. "Nothing, Mr. Holliday. He is a masterful pilot, but he's superstitious to a fault," Romero replied. "Tall tales of the area, in case you didn't consider it, but off the coast here is as much a part of the Bermuda Triangle as much of the surrounding area. Just tall tales, that's all." The salty man interjected, as calm as a St. Bernard. No hint of malice, but sizable in bark. "I'm talking about the Bermuda Triangle, you fools, and believe me when I say it. The triangle is real. Real as you or I. All you've heard about it and more. Ancient evils, ills, magic, mystery. All you've heard about it and more, believe me when I say. As a man who's sailed these waters more than most, in glee, grim, and glum, believe me when I say." Romero sighed in resignation to the tall tales of the salty sea dog. "Yeah, Shaw, you're all set tonight. I won't be flying or boating anywhere, thanks for checking. If you do fly in this, Shaw, be careful. I'd hate to lose you." Shaw had Lucky's interest at this point, if for no other reason than that it seemed he might ferry Lucky where he needed to go. It seemed this might be his best bet anyway.